Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. At the Game Awards, we got a trailer finally for the upcoming Halo TV series, which we'll hopefully be watching in 2022. In today's video, I'll give my thoughts on the trailer, including a hidden ship that I noticed from Halo lore. But before that, I want to go over the controversy that's surrounding the Halo show, culminating in the recent announcement that it will not be a part of official canon, but rather will be a separate timeline. Alright, first some background though. A lot of people have felt that Halo is snake-bitten when it comes to movies or television shows. Halo, at least the original trilogy, was one of those rare video games that actually breaks out into wider public knowledge. A lot of us expected there to be that big blockbuster after Halo 3 came out, although, to be honest, based on the quality of video game movies which were releasing around that time, it's maybe better it didn't. One thing that was somewhat concerning is that apparently most Halo projects had been wrapped up in some form of developmental hell. We know that a script for a potential Halo movie was finished and that a TV show was on and off again and just couldn't get off the ground. Nonetheless, in 2019, it was announced that Halo would be getting a TV show to be released on Paramount Plus, and that's what we're talking about today. Now, fans have been concerned since the start, to put it mildly. One of the major concerns was that the Halo TV show would be watered down for general audiences, and that TV tropes that we don't think would fit in Halo would be forced into the show. And I think a lot of that is based on the fact that it is on Paramount Plus, rather than something like HBO. There's a worry that some of the sci-fi nuance will be dropped in favor of more public-friendly stuff, whether it's romance. There was the rumor of a human living among the Covenant that a lot of people thought was silly, and I think just generally, as I mentioned, there was skepticism. The second major concern, I think, had to do with production. As I mentioned, before even the announcement, Halo's series and movies were in production hell, and it seems like this has not been any different. According to Wikipedia, the initial showrunner actually decided to leave the project before production for season 1, and the showrunner who ended up stepping in decided that he would not be returning for season 2 if it were picked up again. To me, that's not a great sign. I don't like the idea that the showrunner is somebody who doesn't want to be involved with the series moving forward. Another concern was about deviation from Halo lore. We learned that Captain Keyes, Miranda Keyes, and other characters would be somewhat different than their video game counterparts. We know, for example, that Captain Keyes will be played by Danny Sapani, who is a black man, and Keyes in the video game obviously isn't black. Personally, I don't care about this. I see Keyes, especially in the video game, as more than anything an archetype. He's the captain who goes down with the ship. We don't really see a whole lot of him. I don't think his race is important, so if Danny does a good job, that's fine for me, but some people obviously took issue with that. Whether that's valid or not is for you to decide, but I think the much bigger concern was how the show was going to deviate generally from the lore. We already talked about how fans were worried that the show would be dominated by sort of casual, fan-appealing aspects, and a lot of people are also concerned that the show, to be frank, would not be following Halo canon and would deviate wildly from pre-existing storylines. Earlier this year, it was hinted that that would be the case, and the other day, it was confirmed that the Halo TV show will be taking place in what is called the Silver timeline, a completely different timeline than the video games, books, and comics. I think how you feel about this will largely depend on how you feel about continuity generally. For me personally, I think this is the best move. A lot of people say that the Halo TV show should be about fighting insurrectionists or something other than what happens in the games, and I understand where those people are coming from, but this is a show that needs to reach wide appeal. It's called Halo. It needs to feature the Covenant, though I don't think anyone would really argue that a show fighting insurrectionists would be the first Halo TV show ever launched. And to pull in general fans, I think it does need to have a grand enough scale that it touches the most interesting parts of the universe. I think the writers probably looked at everything available to them, most likely figured out that a Halo TV show needed to feature Master Chief, it needed to feature Cortana, and it should feature the characters from the original trilogy, and that they wouldn't be able to do that without deviating from the lore and creating a new timeline. I'm personally fine with that. I actually wish that Star Wars would create more non-canon projects or even the occasional separate timeline. I think it'd be cool, for example, if Star Wars Legends continued to publish books. But I'm not trying to say whether this is right or wrong or whether fans are right or not to be upset. I'm just giving you guys the conversation that's been happening online. I think fate will judge this show based on, to be honest, how good it is. And if they deviated quite wildly from Halo's story and it turns out to be a cheesy, boring mess, then that decision is going to be criticized. If it's a masterpiece, then I think people will be okay with it. I personally am a bit worried. Just everything I've read about production action, some of the things I've seen don't necessarily fill me with confidence. I think it's going to look good. I think it's going to have character moments that are satisfying, but I think it's probably going to deviate a little too far from what we expect in a Halo TV series in catering to general fans to be something that really makes me happy and that sets Halo up for success on TV screens and movie theaters in the future, which is a bummer to say. I would love nothing more than for the Halo TV show to be the new Mandalorian and to absolutely just blow the socks off everyone who sees it, but we'll see. With that being said, let's take a look at the trailer, and I will say that there were some really good moments in here, but let's get started. Alright guys, so I usually find the best way to talk about these trailers is just to watch it live with you guys, so we're going to do that. I'm going to watch through once with the sound up without interrupting, and then I'll go through, scroll, and give my general thoughts. I'm going to link to the trailer down below though, because I will be speaking through this, so you might have trouble hearing. I love this shot of the human city, I will say. At least I assume it's a human city. I think that's the new Halsey. I'm not going to be talking too much about plot here because, to be honest, I don't know it. High Charity, obviously. Well, at least I assume. Awesome asteroid base. I think that's the new Captain Keyes there. Looks like it could be cool. I love that scene. Cool music. The armor's awesome. So, I mean, I think it was maybe a little too harsh in my preview of the trailer. I wish they'd kind of tied more heavily into the Halo music, but let's go through. I'm going to talk about some stuff that I noticed, some stuff that I thought was good or bad. Let's just play it. The logo's good. They couldn't mess that up, that's for sure. Alright, so this show has a budget, I believe, of, I want to say $50 million, which is, for 5 episodes, it might be more, I could be mistaken. The Mandalorian had a budget of about $100 million for 8. That might have also included the development of the volume. But I mean, this does look like an expensive show. At some points, other points it looks a little less good. And I think some of that is the difficulty ultimately of translating stuff in video games to live action. I always find that live action Master Chief or Spartan armor never looks as good as I want it to. It always ends up looking a little too plasticky. But this scene looks good. I'm guessing this is some sort of Forerunner installation.
You're special.
I don't know if that's a new Pelican or some sort of longsword or broadsword. I don't know if I should be recognizing that engine array there. I like it though. It looks cool. This, on the other hand, is where things start to look, you know, not like Halo to me. Like, it doesn't look awful. It's just, it looks cheap, and it's a bit weird to include it so early on in your trailer. When you could have, like, I imagine this is probably a Forerunner ruin that will lead them maybe to Halo ultimately or to some bigger battle. But just a bit weird. I don't want to nitpick it too much, though. Let's take a look at, just a closer look at Chief's armor here. Looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm a big fan of this human city. It kind of matches the cities we see in Halo Legends. Origins 1 and... Well, I guess it's Origins, I think, 1 that has the shots of human cities. They look a lot like this. Definitely designed around aesthetics more than functionality. I remember one of the ones in Origins has these big kind of... it's either boulevards in Origins or these big kind of waterways. I do notice... So one of the ships that I noticed is the Halberd class, which is right up here. The Halberd was a... ship, or it is a ship in Halo canon. It's a destroyer. So yeah, pretty cool there. I'm kind of wondering though whether these are just PNGs overlaid over the video, because they're all doing pretty simple movement. It looks definitely like a Sins of the Prophets model. I don't want to accuse it when I don't know. But yeah, overall that's pretty cool. Just yeah, this is good. We see obviously too. I think these are Pelicans flying by. There's a bunch of ships. Yeah, the Iroquois, by the way, was also a Halberd class. This to me looks like an any colony. Lots of detail. Reminds me of something from Star Wars.
We're lost in the dark.
So this is High Charity. It does look a little bit different than the High Charity that we kind of have grown accustomed to, but not necessarily a bad thing. I assume that this is maybe going to the Dreadnought. We see what looks like a CAS class here. Maybe a CCS class here, so they're doing a good job involving spaceships. I'm a fan of that. A better look there for 1 second. Yeah, it's good. It's quite an epic shot. So The fact that they're willing to approach stuff like that scale in the show is good. We don't actually see any Covenant in this trailer, which is maybe a little disappointing. Another base there. I remember there's an asteroid base in one of the books, I can't remember which one, that the Kig-Yar and humans kind of run together.
People hope.
Again, this is the stuff where, like,
Always be with you.
I'm not sure if it really looks like Halo to me, whereas something like this definitely does. I like the Pelican design. It's maybe a bit over-designed, but I like it anyway. We see the Scorpions in the back, Warthogs. This reminds me of something that would have been in those kind of Landfall shorts that came out before Halo 3.
I see this.
So, I'm not sure whether these are... I'm guessing these are ODSTs or Marines, not Spartans. That one looks like he has a DMR without a scope on it. This looks like he's got a sniper rifle. Yeah, I'm guessing these are ODSTs, although it looks like he may have a Spartan number. Yeah, he's got a Spartan number there. So yeah, I guess these probably are actually Spartans. 134 and 125. Pretty cool shot there. Probably the same city. So yeah, not much in this trailer. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit too harsh on it. It doesn't look bad to me, but this trailer wasn't enough to get me really hooked, which I'd really want a Halo trailer to do, I guess, where it's been so long. I've been waiting to see Master Chief and friends on live action for so long. But I'm going to keep open-minded. If I sounded negative during my kind of pre-review, I'm going to keep open-minded. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Does this look good to you? Are you concerned? Did the trailer change your thoughts on the show, better or for worse? All of that, please, down below. Until next time, though, guys, have a good one. Be safe. May the Force be with you.